Good afternoon and welcome to Cleveland State University and the dedication of our new Center for Innovation in Medical Professions. My name is Rob Spademan. I'm an Associate Vice President here at the University in charge of communications. And we are fortunate today to be joined by a number of prominent Cleveland area elected officials, Congresswoman Marcia Fudge and Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson, who you'll hear from shortly. State Senator Tom Patton, who's been our champion in the Ohio Senate for this project, as well as the state. State Senator Sandra Williams. Ohio House Representatives John Barnes, Bill Patman, Kent Smith, Martin Sweeney, and Representative Sweeney was president of Cleveland City Council when this project was coming together and played a key role in its formation. Let's hear it for these folks. And Stephanie House. County Council member Yvonne Conwell. And while he could not join us today, Ohio Governor John Kasich has issued a proclamation and sends his warm wishes to us today from the State House. So if you believe some days are bigger than others, then today at Cleveland State University is certainly one of those days. Let us begin by hearing from the man whose vision for this building and the important partnership inside has created an amazing jewel box-like setting for medical and healthcare education in the center of our city. Please join me in welcoming President Ron Berkman.
Thank you very, very much. Here we are. An aspiration, really a dream for Cleveland State University. This building, among other things, illustrates our commitment as an urban university to align our academic programs and the development of a workforce with the needs of our community. Rich, small, we want our students to live here, learn here, work here, and invest in this city. It also symbolizes our commitment to a new model for training healthcare professionals, a model that teaches students how to build bridges between professions, a model that prepares students to train in a platform that replicates what they will have when they move into their workplace. It's about healthcare provision as a team sport. Healthcare that is culturally sensitive and delivered in a community setting. Healthcare that is preventative. Healthcare that is holistic, and it is about bringing healthcare to the communities of underserved residents in this metropolitan area. The building is a testament to the power of partnerships, truly a testament to the power of partnerships. Two universities collaborating in this unique model, a model that makes the whole clearly greater than the sum of the parts. There are so many people here, the leadership teams from both universities, the architects, who we argued interminably about the color of the terracotta and whether the synapse snapped enough, but they've done, and the construction team and the design team and the leadership team and the deans and the faculty. The building was a team sport, I could assure you. I want to also recognize the members of our Board of Trustees who are here, who without support none of this would be possible. Our Chairman of the Board, Bob Rawson. Tom Adler, who was here but may have subsequently disappeared. Yes, he has subsequently disappeared. The newest member of our Board of Trustees, Steve Kirk. Member of the Executive Committee, Mort Levin. Paul All, our student representative, and Professor Sridhar, our faculty representative. As well, I'd like to recognize all the members of the CSU Foundation who are here today, and the representatives of all of our medical partners, representatives from University Hospital, Cleveland Clinic, Metro Health, the Lewis Stokes VA Medical Center, the City of Cleveland Department of Public Health, and of course, all our partners at NeoMed. However, there is one towering figure who is not with us today. Finally, as our community mourns the passing of one of the greatest leaders in our city's history, I'd like to ask everyone today to join us in helping honor Congressman Lewis Stokes, who has a very, very special role in the creation of the NeoMed CSU Partnership for Urban Health, and who is known throughout his entire career for his advocacy for quality health care for all. Lou Stokes served as the co-chair of the NeoMed CSU Partnership Community Advisory Committee with Dr. Ed Jackson. That has helped make this relationship a special one by focusing and keeping us focused on medical education for urban communities. He made his last public appearance in the atrium of this building, beaming from the podium as we announced a $5.5 million gift from the Cleveland Foundation. He concluded his remarks that day by saying, "This is a great day for Cleveland." And while this is a great day for CSU and a great day for NeoMed, it is maybe most importantly a great day for Cleveland. For it is, and it will be, and this was our credo from the beginning, a new opportunity corridor for young people who aspire to careers in medicine, nursing, pharmacy, occupational therapy, social work, speech-language pathology, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a moment of remembrance and silence for Congressman Stokes. Stand up, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, was he not beaming? This was that last appearance at the atrium in this building, okay? Maybe, Dr. Jackson, maybe 2.5 weeks before his passing. But he got into this building, and he got among people, and the energy of seeing this come together, and the energy of the people, okay, created that Lou Stokes. Strong, robust, beaming behind that podium. It's a wonderful, wonderful memory. So, you wanted to know the price tag of the building? Someone will tell you. You may read it in the paper. It is a 100,000 square foot building, and it is some of the best money that we ever spent. But we are also proud and really consistent with the spirit of what we want to imbue in this program. We are proud that the management team, and the management team is here, achieved the vast majority of all our diversity goals. 21% of the construction work was completed by minority or economically disadvantaged workers. Our goal was 15%. 7% was completed by Hispanic employees and 5% by women. Both of our goals were met. Our workforce participation goal, 37% of the project's workforce resided in Cuyahoga County, greatly exceeding the goal of 20% and 17% respectively. Mayor, Congressman Fudge, this was a building built by our community. So, again, there are so many folks to thank and so many folks to recognize. In terms of our construction goals, credit goes to Donley, again, credit goes to our management team, etc. The origin of this project and the early days of this project, and it goes back to Lou Stokes again, the Stokes thread runs so much when he marched us into Marcia Fudge's office, okay, in 2010, okay, grabbed the congresswoman by her collar because she was on the phone and she was sending this one here and this one there, and he said, "You gotta listen to this." And she did, you know what? She sat and she listened to this. And from then on, from that moment on, okay, and she has always been, every day, at every turn, one of our alum and really one of the amazing champions of Cleveland State, an amazing champion of Cleveland. I'm so grateful and proud to introduce to you Congresswoman Marcia Fudge.
Thank you very much. The price is priceless. I'm not going to tell you what it is either. Good afternoon, everyone. President Bergman, thank you so much for all that you do for this community, but especially today. Thank you for working with my good friend, Dr. Gershon. It has been a great experience. I was telling him it seemed like yesterday that this whole idea was brought to me. And it's only because of your leadership and this bold, innovative collaboration that we stand here today. No one ever thought we'd be at this place this quickly. Not you, not I. I thought it was a pipe dream. It's like, oh yeah, sounds great. And look at where we are today. And I applaud you for making this day happen so very, very quickly. Let's give them a round of applause. And further, I want to thank Dr. Jackson and, of course, Congressman Stokes for their vision, for their support, for their pulling me in by the ear, as you said, and make me listen to what was going on. And I became as excited about it as you all were excited about it. Because it is nothing more important to me than improving the health care and the health outcomes of people in this community. I say all the time that we have the best health care in the world, and we do. I represent the best health care in the world. I want to be sure that the people who live here receive it. Congressman Stokes worked on health care delivery for the last 30 years. This wasn't something new to him. It was something that he carried in the House of Representatives every day he was there. And so this was something that was so dear to him. I was just happy to be some small part in it. He cared so much about high quality health care service delivery for all Americans, but especially for Clevelanders. So the Center for Innovative and Medical Professions will house programs that will not only train America's next medical professionals, but will also create more opportunities for Ohioans to join the medical field and to better serve the members of our community. Through programs like the Partnership for Urban Health, our workforce will continue to grow and keep medical students here in this community at a time when we need them most. One of the problems we have in our communities is not enough medical professionals of color. This will start the process of making sure that when we train them here, we will keep them here. This center represents the future of medicine, and it represents the future of health service delivery, and I'm proud to be a part of this initiative. Cleveland is the best location in the nation. It is time that everyone understands that we are on the cutting edge of everything that is good as it relates to medical care. When this center take center stage for the rest of the country and the rest of the world. I will be proud to say that I was a part of it, that it is a part of the university that I attended, that NeoMed and Cleveland State made something happen that has not happened in this country. So thank you, bravo, I congratulate you.
So, in the age of creation, there was Mayor Frank Jackson. And I came to see Mayor Frank Jackson, and for those of you who've been to Frank's office, okay, you know that he has some aversion to turning on the lights. And he said to me, do you mind if the lights aren't on? I said, do I have to read anything? He said no. So Mayor Jackson went on really to become the principal advocate for this project for the city of Cleveland. And when he called Governor Kasich to tell Governor Kasich how important this project was to the city of Cleveland. And by the way, this was the budget, many of you will remember, okay, in which there were no additions in the state budget. There were only subtractions in the state budget, including about 13% for higher ed. So the mayor said, well, you know, I know, he said to me before he made the call, right, I know that this is a very lean budget. And I know that universities have been cut. And I know this may be my last political chip, okay, but I'm gonna play it. And that, I really believe, was a turning point. Because as Dr. Gershon said earlier, okay, without the state in that lean year, funding 35 new positions for medical students for each of the 4 years that they will be in medical school, we would not be here today. The great mayor of the city of Cleveland, Frank Jackson.
Good evening. And how are you this evening? Good, good. You know, I want to congratulate Dr. Berkman and Cleveland State University and Dr. Gershon from NeoMed for the partnership to help that created the Center for Innovation in Medical Professions. You know, we often, I've heard over my public career, a lot of conversation about the disparity in delivery of health care and when was somebody going to do something about it. And there was a lot of theories going around as to how to do that. This actually gets us out of the conversation into the actual doing. And that's why I want to, again, congratulate you on putting this together, and thank you for having the concept and the vision and understanding of what it would take to do it. Then finally, I too want to thank Congressman Stokes, not just for this, but for all the things that he has done to make Cleveland what it is today. Cleveland would not be the place it is today without Congressman Stokes. And a thank you to the governor, Governor Kasich, because we did call him, and he hesitated only a moment, and he said yes. And because he said yes, we were able, I think, to move things ahead much faster and do it, as the Congresswoman mentioned, do this in a way that we did not anticipate it would be done as fast. So thank you very much.
So one additional recognition, the individual who preceded me at this podium and who began this renaissance of Cleveland State University, President Michael Schwartz and his wife are here in the front row. So it is all, as we've talked about partnership, okay? And partnership is a word often used, not so often implemented. And really what partnership is about two individuals who could focus on what we want to achieve and not who's going to get the credit for achieving it. And what made this such a workable partnership was that Dr. Gershon, who, by the way, for those of you who don't know, who has been about this for 30 years, okay? He is not new, all right, to the issue of providing opportunity, for the issue of creating mechanisms to close health disparities. He's worked at the national level. He's a member of the Sullivan Alliance. So he had to teach me. I didn't have to teach him or convince him that this was the time, that this was the place, that this was the moment. So Dr. Gershon has really been both an extraordinary partner, and when you're an extraordinary partner, you also become extraordinary friends. And he's been an extraordinary friend to me, and an extraordinary friend to Cleveland State University, and an extraordinary friend of the city of Cleveland. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Jay Gershon, the president of NeoMed.
Thank you, Ron, very much. And we're such good friends that he puts me toward the end, so I have nothing else to say. Thank you so much. But I do want to re-emphasize some of the points that have been made. First, I'd like to introduce the board members, the Board of Trustees from NeoMed that are here. And first of all, we have Chair of the Board, David Heller. Would you please stand and be recognized? The Vice Chair of the Board, Bob Klunk. Bob. And Trustee Charlene Chestnut. Thank you to the board. Thank you to the CSU board. Thank you to the foundations, the leadership teams, and thank you to all the people that have been involved in this project. It's been extraordinary. I particularly want to thank two of the speakers, Congresswoman Fudge, Mayor Jackson. I want to thank the City Council of Cleveland. I have a proclamation in my office that I put above my desk that talks about their support for this 5 years ago when everybody thought it was a pipe dream. Thank you, Marty and others, for stepping up and doing this. Thank you, Ron, for introducing me to the City Council. I hadn't been to Cleveland before. And I want to thank the state legislators who really, both parties, both the Assembly and the Senate, played an enormous role in this. And the Cleveland delegation, of course, but around the state. And what they did, along with affiliated hospitals and business community and the health community, as you heard, helped us advocate the 35 new positions to the medical class of the College of Medicine at NeoMed. And what that did is provide the funds and the resources to make this project possible. Without that, we would not be sitting here today. At least we wouldn't be here today. So I really do thank you for that, all of the representatives and elected officials. I too want to recognize Congressman Stokes. I met him about 38 years ago when I was at UCLA, and he was somebody that I lobbied, and he was on the Appropriations Committee, so he was a good person to know, and he was very helpful when I served as a health policy fellow in Washington for a year. Lou was always there to provide advice and help me along the way. When I got to the University of Colorado, we wound up in some national committees together and became a little closer. And when I came here, I called him up and I said, hey Lou, you never guess what, this is 6 years ago, you never guess what, I'm moving to Northeast Ohio. And he says, oh, that's great, Jay. He says, you're going to be at the Cleveland Clinic? I said, no. He says, you're going to be at Case? I said, no. He says, you're going to be at UH? I said, no. He said, what are you going to be? So I said, well, Lou, I'm going to be at NEO-UCOM. And he says, well, I never heard of NEO-UCOM. And I said, Lou, NEO-UCOM is a regional medical college, and we've done a great job in penetrating the southern portion of Northeast Ohio. But we have a lot of work to do in the Cleveland area. And he said at that point, I'm going to help you do it. And you heard all the things, all the accomplishments that he did, co-chairing the advisory board, and really bringing his name and good word to this. He was all about reducing health disparities. And as you heard, he was in Congress for 30 years. One of the things that he did was to increase the number of medical schools in this country. And one of those medical schools was NEO-UCOM in 1973. The federal funding through him and his colleagues. He also increased the amount of medical research through NIH. So he brought in the infrastructure. But in doing that, and the country was able to expand the number of physicians and other health providers going into communities. But when you look back at it, most of the communities they went into were middle class, upper middle class, and wealthy communities. And those communities deserve to have outstanding providers. But as a nation, we really have not had the same success in incentivizing health providers to go into underrepresented communities, both urban and rural. So what Congressman Stokes did is to take the work that he did and allow us and give us the honor to try and implement it here in Cleveland. We're very proud of that. I want to say, emphasize something that President Berkman said, and I will start by just saying that it has been a great partnership, a great friendship. We met on my third day on the job over a cup of coffee. We met exactly halfway between Cleveland and Ridgetown because nobody wanted to go the extra, But we came out of that meeting with a commitment to come and do this partnership. And what you have here is two universities coming together to leverage their assets. NeoMed bringing its medical college, its pharmacy college, its public health programs, its scientific programs, together with the allied health professions, nursing, social work, law, for a team approach to health professions training. And that's what's going on here in an urban setting. So we're going to reduce health disparities by increasing teams and incentivizing teams to go into underserved communities. And we're going to have more diversity. And we're going to incentivize those students through education for service scholarships, whereby students' education are partially or fully paid for in exchange for their service back in the community. That's what this program is all about. I believe this program is a model for Cleveland. It's a model for Northeast Ohio. It's a model for Ohio. It's a model for the nation. I'm so proud to be part of this program. I'm so proud to be working in partnership with Cleveland State University as NeoMed's president. And I'm so proud that we can really begin to show accomplishments that will change the health status of this city. Thank you so much.
Thank you, President Gershon. There's a couple other folks I'd like to recognize this afternoon. One is Trustee Dave Gunning. Dave? And City Council President Kevin Kelly. Kevin? Along with other council members, Phyllis Cleveland, Jeff Johnson, and Anthony Brancatelli. Oh, Mr. Barnes, too. Thank you. Where are you? All right. So no building like this would be complete without students. And so today we asked one of our students to come forward and talk to you about his excitement about this building and his journey to Cleveland State. So help me welcome, please, Jimmy Fliss, who's in our Doctor of Physical Therapy program here at CSU.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thanks, Rob. and thank you all for being here tonight and allowing me the opportunity to speak about what the new Center for Innovations in Medical Professions means to students like me here at Cleveland State. So first, I'd like to start off to give you a little background on myself and why I chose physical therapy and why I chose Cleveland State University as the school for me to pursue my dreams of becoming a physical therapist. It all started when I was playing a soccer game my junior year of high school, when I was running down the sideline and was slide tackled by an opponent player. During this play, I suffered an injury where both my tibia and fibula were fractured. The injury required surgery. I was placed in a cast and spent the whole season on the sideline. Once the cast was removed and the bones had healed, the orthopedic surgeon prescribed physical therapy for me. I spent the subsequent 8 months in physical therapy watching myself go from someone who was struggling and limping around walking to someone who could get back and play soccer my senior year. So needless to say, during this 8-month period, I developed a love and passion for physical therapy. So when my senior year rolled around and it became time for me to apply to college, I was looking for a school that had a physical therapy program. Cleveland State was right in my backyard and matched that need. So that was one of the biggest reasons that I looked in this university. When I went on my first visit here, my senior year of high school, I fell in love with the buildings and all the investments Cleveland State was making in this campus. It was awesome to see that they were buying into the whole city of Cleveland and the changes it was going through, and I just wanted to be a part of it. Also, CSU is right in the backyard of some of the greatest hospital systems in the country, and this would do nothing but benefit me if I chose to go here. Finally, I got the final nudge from both my parents, who are both alumni from CSU. My mother, Lori, she was a graduate of the chemical engineering program, and my father, Mike, he was a graduate of the occupational therapy program. So there's a little rivalry going on, try to push me to OT, but PT ended up winning out on that one. So in the fall of 2011, I started my undergraduate here at Cleveland State University, and I was studying a Bachelor's of Science in Health Sciences. It was during this 4-year undergrad that I went through that I really learned the true meaning of engaged learning. This was especially true starting probably about 2 years ago when I worked with 2 professors, Dr. Espy and Dr. Reinthal, on a research project studying the validity of an intensity scale in balance training. This project would eventually get accepted to a poster presentation at one of the American Physical Therapy Association's national conference. This was truly one of the greatest opportunities I've had in my life, and it wouldn't have not been possible without Cleveland State's focus on engaged learning and the great professors who led me along the way. This past January, I entered the Doctor of Physical Therapy program here, and I could not think of a more exciting time to do so. The opening of this new Center for Innovations in Medical Professions was right around the corner, and I could not wait to go in this building and see everything it had offered. It offered great facilities, amazing technology, and with all that, it offered the opportunity to work alongside some of the sister programs that are also here at CSU. All of this would mimic the real-world environment I would face once I graduate from here. I'm very excited. Upon graduation from the Doctor of Physical Therapy program here at Cleveland State, I would like to pursue a residency in neurological or orthopedic physical therapy and eventually work for one of the hospital systems here in Cleveland. I stand before you a few inches taller as a proud Cleveland State student who has benefited from the great professors and great opportunities Cleveland State has offered me, and I could not be more excited to see and experience everything this new building has to offer in the next few years I spend here. Thank you all for coming, and go Vikes!
Thank you, Jimmy. This concludes our program, but next we're going to do a ribbon cutting out here by the south entrance of the building.
There you go, right there.
Ready? 1, 2, hey!